Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Tech Tuesday by Delta Media Group. I always say good morning at the beginning of these things, but it might not be morning when you're watching it. It's morning for me. So, happy 4th of July week. I was going for a movie reference today, but the only one I could think of was Born on the 4th of July, and I couldn't think of a good reference because I haven't seen that movie in a long time. So, sorry. I know I'm off my game today, but maybe I'll be on my game in the DeltaNet. So let's jump in and take a look. So what we're going to go over today is the Facebook Auto Connector. We have gone over the Facebook Auto Connector a few times in the past, and we just keep adding things to it. So as long as we keep adding features to it, I'm going to keep making videos. So let's scroll down here. Now to get to Facebook Auto Connector settings, we're going to scroll down to Facebook and then click on Post Tools. Now the first thing you'll see when you go to this page, if you have never been here before, is it'll have a little bit of this stuff up at the top, and then instead of these settings, there'll just be a button that says Log in with Facebook. So let me see if I can give you an example of that so that you know what to expect there. A number of test accounts at my disposal, so there we go. So this is what you'll initially see. Just this message here and then a sign in with Facebook button. So what you'll do is you'll click sign in with Facebook, and when you click that, if you are already signed into a Facebook account on that machine, it'll take you to a login page where you'll then have to log into that account. And then after that, it'll take you through the process. If you've ever connected any apps with Facebook, it takes you through exactly the same process. Basically, it asks you what permissions you want to grant, and you just follow through the whole process, click next. There'll be a step that says, you must grant these permissions in order for this app to work properly. Just make sure you're granting permissions primarily to your Facebook business page on that, as that is the only thing that this can post to. Or if you have multiple business pages, it can post to all the business pages that you give it access to. By default, those will all be selected as you go through the Facebook sign-up process or setup process through this. So basically, you just click next and allow on each one until you get to the end. Once you get to the end, this page will on its own change into the one we were just looking at over here. So let me jump back to that one. Facebook and Post Tools. So that page will refresh on its own, and you'll be able to see all the settings here. At this point, what you can do is you can run through these settings and determine what you want the system to post on your behalf, or what you want it to even sort of queue up on your behalf. So what I'll do is I'll go through this first one, and then we'll just kind of take a look at each of the things that it can post. So the first thing we have here is new listings. What this is going to do is anytime a new listing comes in and the system determines that that is one of your listings, it's going to consider it a new listing post for this. So if I turn this on, by default, this will be set to unlimited. So if I turn this on and my limit post frequency is set to unlimited and I don't change anything else here, just leave it all on defaults, every time I get a new listing, it'll automatically post it to my Facebook business page. It won't care how many new listings I get in a day. So if I were to get 10 new listings in a day and I added them all on here, it would post all 10 that same day. This limit post frequency, which makes more sense in some of the other sections, allows me to limit the system so it won't make all the posts at once. So for example, if I add 5 new listings today, if I have this set to 1 per day, it'll post 1 new listing today and queue up the rest. It'll post the next one the next day, the next one the day after that. So that way it doesn't bombard your Facebook page all at once. Now the next thing you can do is delete posts after. Now this is a brand new feature with this system, and what it allows you to do is have the system automatically delete posts after a certain time period. For new listings, it may or may not make as much sense. It makes a lot of sense for open houses in particular. And the idea there is you can have an open house and say you set the system to post your open houses in for you. You put in your new open houses at the beginning of the week, the system picks them up, posts them to your Facebook business page, and then you say you want to delete the post after, say, 7 days. So if you put your open houses in a week in advance, when the open house happens 7 days later, that's when it'll delete the post. The idea there is that you can really keep your Facebook business page cleaner that way, so you're not cluttering up your your Facebook wall with, or your news feed. They call it a news feed now, right? But you're not cluttering it up with things that are no longer relevant. So you can do the same thing for new listings. So you automatically delete it after a longer time period. So you wouldn't do 10 days on a new listing, but you could do 6 months if you are reasonably certain the listing is going to sell in 6 months. You can pull it off your Facebook page, and it just keeps your page clean. Now, the idea is that the better you manage your social media presence, the more return you're going to get from that. So that is what the delete posts after setting is for. To set it up, you just select your sort of time period over here, if you want to do days, weeks, months. And then over here, how many of those things over there you want. So right now it's on 10 days. If I wanted to do 3 months, I would change that to a 3, switch it to months, and there you go. So the next thing you can do here is you can choose from multiple post templates. So by default, we just have one template in here. It'll be default template, and that's what's going to be selected initially. And you can see a preview of that template here. This is the text that's going to appear along with your posting. So what this is going to do when it posts a new listing is it'll post a link to the detail page for this new listing. Facebook will grab the listing photo off of that page, so that'll display along with the post. And it'll display this line of text above it. If you want to customize this line of text, you can just go up here and click Edit. And then if you'd like to create a new template, you go to Create New Template. You can see these variables that you can use here that'll automatically fill in with the listing information. And then for the template content, you just type it in and type in the variables wherever you want to use those. So I would put in here, check out my new listing at address. And then that address would automatically fill in with the listing address. And then to save it, I'll just click on Save Template. And now I have template number 3 that it automatically selected, and there's my preview of it. Now the next thing you can do, specifically for new listing posts this time, is you can further filter those down. So depending on your company settings, it may or may not allow you to include other agents' listings. So if you want the Facebook Auto Connector to post more than just your own, like for example if you're on a team and you want it to post all of your team members' listings to your Facebook business page, you can type their name in here and it'll pick them up. So if I we'll delete Steven and put him back in. And you can see as you start typing, it starts to autocomplete down, and you just click on them, and that adds them to the list. You can also only post your listings, or the listings that match this pool so far, that are in specific areas. So I would just type in a location here. So if I wanted only listings in Canton, you can see the autocompleter again pops up, and then I would select Canton. And you can select multiple areas there. You can limit it to a certain price range. You can limit to property types, property categories. So you can see you've got a fair amount of control over what listings you want to post. Now what I'll add to that is you could potentially have multiple Facebook business pages, and you could post different listings to different pages. So for example, if I go up here, this is actually a drop-down menu. So if I click on this tab, I just have the one business page. But if I had a residential page and a commercial page, I could pick my residential page and then go down here and unselect all the checkboxes for everything except for residential listings, and then save that, and those will post to just my residential page. And then if I went back up here and selected the commercial page, all of these settings would sort of reset on this page to what my settings specific to that commercial page are. And then I would scroll down here, unselect everything except for commercial, so that only commercial listings are posted there. So that's kind of the idea behind the ability to narrow these down, or one thing you can do, I should say, with the ability to narrow down what listings actually post. So those are the primary features per post type set up on each of these posts. So for the rest of these, we'll just be able to run through them real quick here and just take a look. So we have new open houses. All these settings work exactly the same way. The only thing special about open houses is that you can post open houses for your listings even if you're not the agent that's actually hosting the open house. So the idea is that it will post listings that you are the host for, or according to the system you're kind of hosting. And then if you have another agent hosting an open house for one of your listings and you want it to post to your Facebook page anyway, you can check this box and it'll pick that up and post it as well. Other than that, the rest of these settings work exactly the same. New coming soons. These all work exactly the same way, only they're only posting listings that come in with a status of coming soon. New and updated listing videos. Again, these settings work the same way, except with these, what it's doing is it's picking up when a video is either added to a listing or when a video is already on a listing is actually updated. So if you're set up through our Properties in Motion system where a video gets added automatically, this will post a link to the detail page for that listing to your Facebook business page whenever that video is updated. To update a video, you would just go under Listings, click on the MLS ID for your listing, and then you can add a video like a YouTube video to the listing. So that's what this is picking up off of. Next thing we have here is price reductions. again, no special settings here. This all works the same way, only it's picking up listings that just had their price reduced as opposed to listings that are brand new or listings that come in with a coming soon status. New sold listings, this is if we have data for solds. So if we're getting sold data from your MLS, this will automatically post your new sold listings. Blog articles, again, this one works the same way, only this one's looking at articles that you create in your own blog. So if you are using the blogging platform, it's under marketing and blog, and you go in there and create a new article, this will pick that up and automatically post it. Next is MCFL articles. Now these are roughly the same as blog articles, only in these are articles we're creating in-house. So what we do is we create 3 new articles every Thursday, and if you want, this system will automatically post them to your Facebook business page. Now this one has a few special settings in that you can pick specific days for it to post in addition to the post frequency itself. So if I go up here and say unlimited is what it'll be on by default, it'll just post until it runs out of articles. And like I said, we add 3 new ones every Thursday generally, so it should just every Thursday post 3. But you can see you've got individual post days here also, so that kind of changes things up a little bit. So the way this works is it will post up to the limit only on the days that are specified. So the way it's set right now, new articles, and that's why this starts on Thursday. You can see the order starts on Thursday because that's the day we post the articles. With this on unlimited, when we post 3 articles on Thursday, it'll post all 3 articles to your page that same day because it's unlimited. If I were to switch this to 1, what it'll do now is on Thursday it'll post 1 article and then queue up the other 2, and then Friday is the next day that it's allowed to post, so it'll post the second one on Friday and the third one on Saturday. If I were to uncheck that and check on Monday, for example, it'll post 1 article on Thursday, 1 on Friday, and then 1 on Sunday. And then it's out of articles and it'll start over again the next week. I could also use some combination here where I go, say, 2 per day. So then when 3 articles are added on Thursday, it'll post 2 of them on Thursday, which leaves 1 in the queue, and then it'll post that 1 on Saturday. So that gives you an idea kind of how the special functionality with these works. And then the rest of the settings work exactly the same. You can delete them after a certain time period automatically, and you can attach a different template to them if you'd like. And down the line, the next one we have is customer reviews. This one, the post limits can make a lot of sense for, because let's say you go into the DeltaNet and you add in some reviews manually that you got on another platform, or that you've had or that were emailed into you, anything like that. If you go in and add 20 in a day, maybe you don't want it to post all 20 to your Facebook page at once. So you could turn this on and say just 2 per day. And then when you add your 20, it'll post 2 today, queue up the rest, 2 tomorrow, and just run through until it runs out of customer reviews to post. But other than that, these settings work exactly the same. Just go in, and any new customer review that is approved on your website will automatically get posted to your Facebook page by this. And then lastly, we have the Market Watch posting. What this will do is you can create Market Watches that are non-customer specific. So these are Market Watch reports that are just nice graphical reports that have some data about a specific market. Those can be created in a handful of ways. One way, you would create them on an individual customer, and it would email the report out to the customer on whatever interval you set. The other thing you can do is you can just create a report that's not specific to any customer, and then this system will automatically post that report on your Facebook page on whatever interval you choose. So the way this works is this is turned on, you set your post frequency, just like all the other systems, so all these settings work exactly the same, but it's going to look to the report itself to figure out what interval it'll actually post on. So if I create a report and I set it to monthly, it's going to generate a new report every month, and when this picks up that a new report was generated, it'll post it. So we'll jump over there and I'll show you that real quick. But before I do, while we are on this page here, you'll notice that a lot of these are set to manually post. So we have how many per day, we have unlimited, and we've talked about what that does, but there's also manually post. What this will do is anything that I have set to manually post, the system will pick up that it would have posted something if it were allowed to post. Since it's set to manually post, we're basically telling it it's not allowed to post the things, but we want to keep them stored. We want to queue those things up. So if, for example, a new Market Watch is set to post today, and I have this set on manually post, instead of posting, it'll put it in queue, and then when I want to post it, I can go back to this page and go over here to create a manual Facebook post. And if I click on that, it takes me to this page here where, again, I can select which page I want to post to. But anything that was set to manually post will appear in this drop-down menu. So if I click here, I don't have anything queued up. But anything you had, like say if you had everything set to manually post, all of your new listing posts, all of your open house posts, all your coming soon posts, your MCFL, your blog articles, all that stuff would start populating this list. And then you can just use this system instead of auto-posting for you. You can use it as kind of a one-stop shop where you can go in and jump over here and actually manage all your Facebook posts. And that way you're posting them exactly when and how you want to. And you don't have to go through Facebook or jump to a bunch of other pages to do it. You just have them queued up here. So you would just pick them and then set the post up the way you want and then just hit create post, and that will create the post from here. So that can be kind of a cool feature if there are certain systems that you wanted to auto post for you, like say you wanted to automatically post your customer reviews, but you want more control over your open house posts. You could have it manually queue the open house posts and then auto post the customer reviews. So the idea is it gives you a lot of versatility there as far as how you want to post to your social media. Now the other thing you have here is you can create a manual post. That one's always going to show up whether you have anything queued or not. And if I wanted to create a manual one, I just leave this on create my own message, type out my post message here, and then we've recently added the ability to add images to those. So if I click here on add images, I could select an image from my computer and then hit create post, and then it'll post that image with whatever text I put here. So that is most of Facebook Auto Connector. Now we'll jump over real quick and take a look at market watches just to give you an idea how you set those up for those posts. So if I click on listings and go down to market watches, you can see I have a few set up here. To create one, you would create it the same way you would an individual customer. You just go down and click on add a market watch. You choose how you want to define the area for the market watch, and we have a number of market watch videos, so I'll just jump in here real quick. Select an area, give it a name. I can specify the criteria if I want. I can put a limit on how old the sold properties that show up on it are. I'll click done. Now I'll set my interval. So in this case, let's do semi-annually, why not? And then create market watch. Now that creates my market watch, and you can see it up here at the top. I can click on this little plus sign to see some additional options, but as this pertains to Facebook, what I have to do first is I have to preview it because that generates the initial market watch. It's all test data, so it's probably not going to preview very well. And go down here, market watches. And then once you preview it for the first time, it'll be ready to start posting. It'll post on the interval you set here, and it will only post if you have this Allow Facebook Auto Post box checked. So you could create multiple market watches here, some that you want to post manually using these buttons, and others you want Facebook to auto post. So if you want it to auto post, you'll check the box, and then it will post on the interval you have set here, and it gives you that next run date to let you know when it will actually post. So there you go. That is how Market Watch set up on the Facebook Auto Post, and that is the ever-growing Facebook Auto Connector system. So, as always, thanks a lot for joining me this week. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to leave a comment in the video or send an email into support@deltagroup.com or give us a call, because we always love to hear from you. And thank you very much. Enjoy your holiday. 4th of July is coming up this week, so keep all your digits. And I will see you next week.